Stand up, turn around, face away from me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, turn around, face away from me right now.
Boy, 73, I'm fighting with one. He's reaching for my gun.
Hi everyone, Donut here. Today's story is not a shooting breakdown. There's a shooting breakdown in this video that's actually really freaking good, but the main story for today is a stabbing breakdown. That's right, a cop stabbing someone. I believe out of like the 1,100 videos I've done on this channel, there's only been one other time a police officer stabbed someone. I mean, it kind of sounds like an Onion article, cop stabs man. Not just a quick self-defense, stab the guy, make your distance, pull a gun. Suspect was stabbed over a dozen times, and the twist is the deputy was completely justified. Also, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police shooting that we're gonna look at is gnarly as hell. Stick around for that, but first a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor for this video is Raycon. You know what's coming up the next month? Mother's Day and Father's Day. Have you ever listened to one of your mother's books? Books like these. Trust me, you do not want to read or hear one of those books being read. That's why the perfect gift for Mother's Day would be Raycon everyday headphones. Sweet, we got mom out of the way. What about dad? He may not be listening to smut like your mother, but you probably don't even want to hear what he's listening to either. That's where Raycon everyday headphones come in. Their latest models are better than ever with a 40-hour battery life. I'm definitely going to be using these bad boys with all the traveling I'm doing this year. Oh my gosh, on my way to the Unsubscribed live shows, I can listen to the Unsubscribed podcast on my Raycon headphones. The dope thing about these guys too is that 15 minutes of charge time will get you 2 hours of battery life. Another great thing about these guys is they start at half the price of other premium audio brands. I can't stand babies on airplanes, and thank God these have noise cancellation. Perfect for those flights when that dumb bitch wants to get on her phone, turn it on speaker. Do something really cool for your mom and or dad for Mother's and Father's Day. Get them a really great pair of headphones for an affordable price. You can get these or anything else from Raycon right now for 15% off
By going to buyraycon.com/operator15.
Think about your mother and father. Very comfy, long battery life, super affordable. Right here, Raycon everyday headphones, 15% off.
That's buyraycon.com/operator15.
Today we got something beautiful to look at when it comes to law enforcement videos. A cop doing absolute pro level work while under severe pressure. An active shooter situation. And yes, it's all caught on video from multiple angles. Let's go on over to Las Vegas. A guy with a gun walks into a gym in the middle of the afternoon and just starts shooting people with an AR. The suspect fired off multiple rounds, tragically killing one gym employee and wounding multiple others. And then enter the professional.
I've got cover, don't worry. Hey, he's locking the doors, dude.
You're a professional. I'm a professional.
A couple of Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department officers. I think I'm really good at that acronym now because I break down so many shootings from those guys. Anyways, a couple of them responded to the call, and within seconds of making contact with the shooter, he's dead. You may have seen this video already, but I had to watch it 20 times. No flinching, no panic, suspect down. Just a nice, smooth little operator grip, a couple shots, and then one more head check shot. No flinching, no panic, just suspect down. He's even holding the rifle when he radios it in. That was a good angle, but let's see it from that officer's perspective.
Is that you, Kate? Is that you?
No.
He's moving.
Hey, we gotta push in, dude.
He's right there by the door. Is that you, Kate?
No, no.
Like I said, 3 shots, then a dead check. Officers straight up spawn camped this guy. You kind of tell the suspect knew that he was done for. Look at his face in this slow motion shot.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Something tells me that guy never learned how to check his corners properly. The officer doesn't even react like he just saved a bunch of lives. He just keeps doing his job. Acquires target, keeps his sights steady, and calls it in with one hand while still covering the suspect. This officer looks like he's done it a million times and is prepping for the next one. As you would guess, no one was killed or injured after that moment. Police also say that the only reason this didn't turn into a mass casualty event is because the guy's rifle jammed after he fired 24 shots. I guess when it jammed, he decided, well, I'm gonna book it out the door and ran right into Officer Badass. And as of right right now, no one even knows why he walked in and killed that guy and started shooting at people. None of those people had anything to do with the shooter. Let's move on to our next story. Before we get into the main video, let's talk about one of the worst human beings we possibly ever seen on this channel. Dude just got handed 100 years in prison, and honestly, that's kind of light for what he did. Let's go back to Indiana, winter 2022, right before Christmas. A woman who is pregnant gets shot in her head by her husband. He drags her out in front of their home during a snowstorm, leaving her there to freeze to death. Freezing, bleeding out, and completely alone. And then, keeping up his psychopathic behavior, he grabs their 23-month-old daughter and starts walking down the road. That's right, in the middle of the snowstorm. Luckily, a snowplow driver sees this psychopath walking down the road and does what anyone would probably do when they see a guy carrying a baby wearing only a onesie. He calls the cops.
Good man.
Enter Franklin County Sheriff's Deputy Aaron Bowers. He pulls up thinking he's about to help a dad in distress. That's what I would think. Like maybe their car broke down and he's trying to find some help right now. The deputy has no idea that he's looking at a man who just tried to murder his pregnant wife.
Get this, he's a former cop.
As soon as Deputy Bowers gets out of his patrol vehicle, the suspect pulls out a gun and shoots him right in the chest. Thankfully, Bowers was wearing his Kevlar vest, which stopped the round. Without missing a beat, after being shot in the chest, the deputy pulls his service pistol and shoots the suspect. Completely drops that f***ing guy and doesn't hit the toddler.
Drop the gun. You okay, sweetie? Are you okay? Here, let me look at you. You okay?
The would-be killer who was carrying the toddler was paralyzed in the shootout.
You got off easy.
Now, what about the pregnant wife with a bullet hole in her head in front of the house, freezing to death? Deputies know who the guy is now, so they go to the house to see if anything else had happened, which we know it did. They found her barely alive in the snow with a bullet in her skull. She somehow survives, but unfortunately, the baby she was pregnant with does not. She spends weeks in the hospital, loses part of her toe to frostbite, gets a permanent shunt in her head, and then has to relearn how to speak and move. This wasn't just attempted murder. This was planned, calculated, and cold-blooded. He shot her, walked off with the daughter like it was nothing, and then when help arrived, he tried to kill the cop too. This f***ing asshole rolls into court in a wheelchair and asks for sympathy. Claims he was hallucinating and then blames it on mental illness. Says he never meant to hurt anyone. And then he asks for home confinement because he's not a threat to anyone. Buddy, your existence is offensive. You belong under the jail. Thank God the jury wasn't buying it. He was sentenced. 100 years, no parole, no sympathy, no second chances. His ex-wife stood tall in court, told him to his face, "That's my daughter, not yours." Calls him scum, and then she says flat out to him, "You didn't win." And she's right, he didn't win. Good riddance. Let's move on to the next story before I throw my monitor across the room. Vancouver, Washington, May 7th, 2025. Yes, we're finally to the story where deputy goes Michael Myers on some dude. So it's just before 11 p.m. in Clark County, Washington. Deputies respond to a motor vehicle accident where a guy had managed to plow into two parked cars. He then gives the cop the classic line of, "My life is over."
Clearly, I've been drinking. Yeah. And I ran into these cars.
Okay. Do you need medical attention, sir?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But my life is over.
All right,
I wouldn't go that far.
Now, normally that's just the beginning of a paperwork party and maybe a lost job. I don't know if you could tell there without them doing field sobriety tests. He is f***ing hammered. So yes, you're probably going to lose your CDL. This dude is spiraling into full self-destruction mode. Everything is doom. Everything is over. Cop just find a Nickelback CD in the car. Guess what? He was arrested for DUI. They take him up the road to a Washington State Patrol wait station. They go there because they need to do a breathalyzer test. Because Clark County doesn't have one of those for some reason. Moving on. Here's where shit gets weird.
We're gonna go into the scale house here. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna take a test, okay? If you're cooperative with me and you're cool with me, I'll take you out of handcuffs. If not, you're gonna stay in handcuffs the whole time. You understand? All right.
The deputy tells the guy, "Hey, if you cooperate, I'll take the cuffs off." What?
I'm gonna take you out of handcuffs. You're gonna take a seat on that bench there, okay? All right. I'm gonna take you out of handcuffs. You can take a seat on the bench there.
The guy says, okay, and then puts his hands on top of his head. This is after the guy already said his life is over. That's called foreshadowing also, kids.
You're okay. You can put your hands down.
No, okay. Witness.
What's
This is
this?
for your safety.
Well, you promise you're not going to hurt me?
I'm promising.
Oh.
For your safety, the man says. All right, that's a red flag again. Vague threats like it's time to restrain them again.
Talk to him, will you, or hit him?
It doesn't really matter if he promises the Almighty. They shouldn't be out of cuffs making threats to you or anyone. Then he starts saying things like, you don't know who you're dealing with. Maybe I'll make it through the night. I'm a dead man. I'm no psychologist, but that's not normally how healthy conversations go, especially with the cops, while you're under arrest.
I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy!
The deputy, who's being super chill about this situation, tries to calm the guy down.
Mark, you're going to make it through the night, all right? This isn't as big a deal as you think it is. It's a mystery.
No, you have no idea.
Okay.
Tells him this isn't the end of the world, reassures him, even tries to get him to call a lawyer, offers him the support line. Guy keeps refusing the help. And then the real insane part, if we haven't gotten there already, here's what the guy says.
You know what's crazy? It's just you and me in this room.
I think we're past red flag 2. That's like red flag 16 at this point.
Too many.
The deputy finally says, okay, enough of this shit. You're going back into handcuffs. Deputy tells him to turn around. That's what flips the switch on this dude.
Why are you saying things like that?
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and stand up. Turn around, face away from me.
Sure. Are you sure?
Yeah, turn around, face away from me right now.
You sure?
Boy, 73, I'm fighting with one. Give me the air, he's reaching for my gun. Mark, you're gonna get f***ing shot!
Our suspect that was going half psycho goes full psycho, tries to take the officer's service weapon. Not the funny kind of take the officer's service weapon like you do with the little T-Rex grabby toy. Okay, we're going full on side by cop in this situation.
Yeah, that's what I want. Motherfucker.
Shot! Mark, get the f*** away from me! Get the f*** away from me, Mark!
They fall on the floor and the body camera cuts out during the scuffle. When it comes back on, the suspect is on the ground, bleeding out and handcuffed once again. The officer, visibly shaken, cuts the guy's hoodie off and it reveals at least a dozen stab wounds. And yeah, you heard that, the cop stabbed him multiple times. He whipped out a knife and Swiss cheesed this guy mid-fight during a DUI processing.
Dude, relax.
Like I said at the first of the video, how often does that show up on body cam? I think I've only seen it one other time. Do you think that was excessive? I don't think so. The suspect was trying to take his gun. That's deadly force. Officer was alone. There wasn't anyone to help him get the guy under control. Yeah. Stab him. EMS arrives, does what they can, but the dude had too many holes in him and bled out. Which makes sense if you were able to see this uncensored.
Love Swiss cheese.
This isn't the first time I've heard this. One of my instructors in the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy stabbed a dude who was taking his gun. I've heard multiple stories, but this is one of the first times we've kind of seen it on body cam. I can't even find my own damn video on that, but I'm pretty sure I did one in the past. Get too old for this shit. Anyways, that's all I've got for you fine people today. Comment below and let me know what you thought of these stories. If you want to help support the channel, head on over to donutoperator.com to get some super sweet merch. Subscribe to our uncensored streaming platform Pepperbox at pepperbox.tv or check out my vlog channel Operation Donut. Until next time, please have a fantastic day. I gotta eat some spaghetti.
Whack.